Hello everybody and welcome to another Lamley showcase. A special one at that, one of a few we're going to do to round out 2020. It is time to go through some of the best and highlights of the year 2020. And it was actually, considering how crappy the year was, it was a great year for 164 collectors. That is for sure. So I thought in the final week of 2020, I would go through some of the highlights, but I wanted to go through some of the brands that I collect and some of my favorites. And we're starting with Tarmac Works. I can say this, 2021 is going to be a huge year for Tarmac Works, which is saying something because 2020 was a massive year for Tarmac Works. I think you're going to see a lot of coverage on the Lamley blog and on the Lamley channel for this brand. But I just wanted to kind of highlight what I love about this brand. What starts with this. Tarmac came onto the scene a few years ago with these incredibly detailed models with all kinds of amazing details, like from the little antennas to the brake calipers to headlights, all that kind of stuff. I mean, everything about these models is pretty incredible from a detail perspective. Something new for collectors in the US to get used to, and that some of these didn't roll. Most of them do, but some of them don't. They're mainly for display. I myself had to get used to just keeping the cars on their bases. You could take them off and enjoy them in a diorama and stuff, but I like displaying them this way. It's something new for me. But that's how Tarmac kind of cut its teeth, was with these incredibly detailed models in the Hobby 64 line. We're going to get to some of them that I thought were the highlights of the year. But another highlight another thing that I think Tarmac does done incredibly well and is incredibly creative are their collaborations. And I've got a handful of them in front of me right now. This year we saw collaborations with Mini GT. These are not only just other products and things, which we've seen, obviously the branding they do with the race cars and some apparel and things, but with other diecast makers and manufacturers like Mini GT. It's unique to see Tarmac do this. We've seen them with Ignition model, Mini GT, of course, that one's really cool. We're actually going to do a best of Mini GT. Kyosho just recently, these two Skylines that they did, bring in Kyosho back into 164, which was kind of nice to see. Of course, they did these collaborations with Schuko, which was a surprise, doing this cool van, and I think we got another one coming from them, Schuko and Tarmac Works. There's the collaboration there. That was unique. And then even stuff like Lean Customs pins. I'm a big fan of Lean Customs. I think a lot of you are as well. And there were a few different Tarmac Works Lean Custom pins that were done. This was the RWB Rotana that was done, which I think is super cool as well. So that's one element of these cool collaborations. Obviously, I'll mention mine for the next year too. But what we have now are the highlights for me for 2020 for several different reasons. I've got the highly detailed models. We've got their line from Global 64, which we'll get into. That is what I love to collect from Tarmac Works. But that third element that I wanted to add is their creative approach to packaging, from very standard to little details that really make it cool. But I want to start with the most helpful packaging. I love Tarmac Works Global 64 line. Part of the reason is I think these cars, and this is what I think is really built for US collectors. Obviously Tarmac Works is still building its brand in the United States, and there are a lot of collectors that have just admittedly have had to get used to this approach. We're used to Hot Wheels cars here, Matchbox, that kind of, you can beat them up a little bit, you can give them a little bit of quote unquote love and they'll take it. And then we have these much more detailed, highly detailed, a little more fragile, maybe more for display type models that we have to get used to. Well, Tarmac has kind of gone in the middle here with their Global 64 line, and they've created some cars that look fantastic on display, but can take a little bit more of the quote-unquote love. We'll just put it that way. I'm going to show off these models, but this is the cool thing I wanted to show off too. This is what it is now. Let me show you what it used to be. Let me grab. Looks all the same, right? You've got the car, you've got the box, you've got the artwork. All looks good. Very much in that US style with the big blister, the big card, all the details on the back. How we're used to taking cars off the pegs in the United States. But there's one thing that drives me crazy, and it's this packaging here It's all sealed up. That's going to require me to get out scissors, cut this open, cut this way, massacre the hell out of my fingers trying to cut this open. Well, Tarmac changed it this year, and we saw new packaging. It all looks the same, except it's a clamshell, a built-in clamshell that all you have to do is cut some tape, open it up, remove the card if you want to, which I'm going to try and do here. Because it's just built. There we go. Pull out the model, leave the box if you want, and enjoy your Koenigsegg just like that. Now we'll take a look at the car. You can see all the details. It even has the removable back, rubber tires, obviously wheels that were built for the car itself. In the case of this Koenigsegg, lots and lots of details, but not as many fragile pieces. And of course it rolls. All of the Global 64 line does. Most of the Hobby 64 rolls as well. But you can see all the details on here. You can see the brakes, the brake calipers. All of it looks really, really cool. Headlights, the details on the rear, the spoiler, all look really, really cool. And when you're done with this, if you're not going to display it, you're not going to put it in a diorama, you're not going to just like roll it around and play with it, is you can put it right back in to its clamshell package. Store it away if you need to. Whatever you need to do, you can do, and I think that is brilliant packaging. I wish more diecast companies, and maybe they will start following this model by putting these cars, by doing clamshells you can actually open and then put back. I've never been a huge fan of packaging. I open up everything, but when you can actually put it right back, that makes me very happy. Same thing with this Mustang. Now, we don't have to talk about the joys of opening a Mustang clamshell. Let's just talk about the Mustang itself. This was a fantastic introduction, or a fantastic new model from Tarmac Works. And I just want to show off how cool this Shelby GT350R. Hot Wheels fans are used to, our collectors are familiar with this model because Hot Wheels did one, but now we take it to another level with the Tarmac Works. Does it roll? Yeah, it rolls unbelievably smooth. See that? It's really, really nice. And then now you take that element, cool wheels, all of that stuff, and you add all the details that Tarmac Works adds to their models, even in the Global 64 line, that kind of middle ground that I've talked about. It rolls, you can play with it, you can do all you want with it, and you get all of the cool detailing. And I am stoked with what Tarmac Works has done with this Mustang. This may be, from a model perspective, their model of the year. I have one that I think supersedes it. We'll get to that. All right, let's talk about these. There's some highlights here. There's packaging highlights. There's obviously the detailed models, but to me, we'll get to these beauties in a second and the creative packaging, but purely from a model perspective, Global 64, that's my Tarmac line of the year. Models of the year, it's these two pairs. One, these beautiful pink pigs. Two, these fantastic Volvos that were just introduced this last month. Let's start with the pink pigs. One is an RWB, one is a 911 GT3R, which is absolutely beautiful, super, super detailed. You got the collector card, just showing you very, very quickly. This isn't an example of how good Tarmac is, because this is just what they do all the time. But I love their Porsches. I love their RWBs. I love this GT3. Pink Pig is an iconic look. This was an actual race car. You can see the detailing, not only in the deco of the car, the spoiler, and all that kind of stuff, but I just love how the Michelin detail is on the tires. I'm not taking this thing off. I never will. It just looks so cool as is, displayed the way it is, accompanied by the Sopranos RWB in a completely different packaging, same model, or same line, Hobby 64, but in this really cool container. Now you got some cool stuff that comes with it, shows you what number it is, but you can look at this, check out this container that opens up, and you can actually pull the model out. Make sure I do this right out of the container, plastic, and then you've got this highly detailed, beautifully detailed RWB Sopranos in the same Pink Pig livery, deco, whatever you want to call it, and it looks equally cool. Do I want to take it off the base? I don't. I want to put it right back in its container, but it's nice to see this model. And I just love the creative packaging that Tarmac Works gives these models. Let's put these over here and let's just talk about these Volvos. No need to talk about the packaging. We'll just talk about the cars themselves. Just newly introduced, more creativity. This 850 Volvo is red hot, as we know. We've seen the same deco or a tribute deco from Hot Wheels, but I want to show off how beautiful Tarmac's version is. This is the number 15 Ricard Rydell. This is the 1994 version. This one, number 15, 5-spoke wheels on this one. It'll look a little different from the other one, but it's pretty much the same Omega Express deco, which I think is fantastic. And you can see all of the racing details, and then the details in the casting from the front and the back. It's just, this is the thing. People might say, well, Hot Wheels did this model. They did, and it's fantastic. I love that car, one of my favorite of the year. Now we get the ultra detailed Tarmac Works version as well. Does it roll? Don't know, don't care. I love it on its base as is, and it will look perfect accompanied by the number 14 car from the same year. Let's open this one up. Same type of container packaging that we saw with the other Porsche. Put all the cool collector items away, and you can see this one has, I'll even take it off so you can see it. Don't touch that antenna, pull it out, and you can see if I hold these together, one's number 14, one's number 15. You can see the wheels are a little bit different. This is, what is this? It was Lammers, right? Is the last name. I'd have to remember. Yeah, Jan Lammers. Very close to John Lambert, right? But let's finish off with these fantastic models, or packages, or oil cans, or whatever you want to call them. Look, I've said before, I'm not huge into packaging. It's not my big thing. But when you see something special like this, and in this world of cool collaborations between fashion and other iconic brands, you just want to see creativity coming from every angle. And Tarmac does not disappoint, and did not disappoint in 2020 with these cool oil can packages. This is a true oil can. It's metal. It's got all this cool detail. Even the top screws open. That's not oil in there, thankfully. But you can screw the top back on. I'm assuming they had the makers of these oil cans, like that make these for the actual brands, the oil brands, make these cans. And then when you open them up, it's almost a shame there's a model in here that you have to take out, but you can close it back up. I love this. You've got an actual model. In this case, the Nissan GT-R Nismo GT3. The model itself would already be a massive hit, but then when you put it in this incredibly cool packaging, you can see how special this model is. And look at all the details on that GT-R. It is incredible. Love the spoilers, how crisp they are, how tight they are. You know the brand here. Very classic brand from a race car perspective. The Marlboro. It's incredibly hard to say. And check out this oil can, and then check out the model. We've seen so many pictures of this, the Morleau RWB, in terms of just when you mix in the packaging, the model, the details, the color combination, and everything else. I think this might be my model of the year from Tarmac Works, because everything about it is just perfection. I love this car. I love the white rims. You can see the idler's detail on the tires. This, my friends, with the Volvos, with the Global 64 stuff, with the Koenigseggs, with the Mustang, with the Pink Pigs, and everything else, the cool collaborations, it all culminates with this fantastic Morleau model. I need to get the pin. Lean Customs did a pin for this one too. I'm going to have to get my hands on this one because I think this is cool. You guys tell me what you think. This is the best of Tarmac for me. You Tarmac collectors, tell me what's the best for you. I want to know in the comments. Help me see all the cool stuff that's coming out. And like I said, you're going to see a ton of cool stuff from Tarmac in 2020. 2021. We'll be here for it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.